Hokage hundreds of millions of rewards, Chapter 21-40. Chapter 21 Stunt, Table Lotus. Ghost brothers are all the strength of Chunin, and Sasuke is still struggling to deal with 2 people, he can never be his opponent. But at this time, the ghost brothers are already approaching the target, Dasna. Although Sasuke can block 1 person, Dasna will hang. At this time, the secret Kakashi was ready to shoot. However, just at this critical moment, a low voice came from Shiyu's mouth. The 8 inner gates, the first gate. Open the door, open it. As soon as the voice fell, Shiyu felt that his whole body more than doubled. Open the door, remove the limitation of the brain area, in order to achieve the purpose of exerting 100% of the physical ability, overloading the body energy to increase the attack and speed. After opening, you can use the forbidden technique secret skill, open black lens bracket table lotus close black lens bracket. Chain, on the ground and rushed towards the ghost brothers, and in the blink of an eye, appeared below the 2 of them. This scene instantly looked at everyone, especially the 2 ghost brothers who were the parties. He never imagined that Shiyu would be able to catch up with them when he was so far away from them. Kakashi hiding in the dark. This is Kakashi, who is close friends with Emperor Guy, is quite familiar with the 8 inner gates, so he can see at a glance what Tokiyu is doing now. Boom, boom. With the sound of the 2 figures, the 2 ghost brothers were directly kicked into the sky by Shiyu. But it's not over. Immediately after, Shiyu used the body technique, Shadow Leaf Dance, to continuously kick the 2 of them towards the sky. Pedal, pedal, pedal. After kicking to a certain height, Shiyu didn't have any extra movement. He used the chain in his hand to instantly bind the 2 of them, and then drag them towards the ground in a high-speed rotating posture. This is open black lens bracket the 8 inner gates close black lens bracket the first body technique stunt. Open black lens bracket Leonwa close black lens bracket. Boom. As a loud noise came out, a smoke and dust on the ground shot up into the sky, making people unable to see the reality in it. Call out. With the sound of breaking the air, Shiyu jumped out of the smoke, moving like a rabbit. Not only did not suffer the slightest damage, but his state did not drop due to the use of Watch Lotus. This is the advantage of having amazing chakras. The more chakras, the more prosperous your life is and can withstand overloaded consumption. After seeing Shiyu, everyone recovered from their astonishment. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Sasuke's voice just fell, and another voice sounded in his ear. This isn't some ninjutsu, it's taijutsu. Kakashi who spoke. Seeing Kakashi alive, Tokiyu and Sasuke were not surprised, but Naruto and Dishonor were shocked. Because just now they clearly saw Kakashi being twisted into a cloud of blood by the 2 ghost brothers. However, when they looked at the pool of blood on the ground, they only saw a piece of broken wood. It turned out to be a substitute. Naruto chanted, and then said, Kakashi-sensei, it's great that you're all right. After Naruto's voice fell, the smoke and dust on the ground in front of him also dissipated. Next second. What catches everyone's eyes are 2 ghost brothers who are like dead dogs. At this time, the 2 have been seriously injured and passed out. Chunin is worthy of being Chunin, his physical strength is really durable, and he was hit by Shiyu's Beauty Lotus and he didn't die. After seeing this scene, Dishonor also breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that I have been saved. Immediately, he looked at Shiyu without the contempt he had before. Originally, he thought that a kid of Shiyu's age would basically have no fighting power. But now he feels that he has been slapped hard, the hot kind. Seeing this, Naruto couldn't help but praise. Shiyu, you are amazing, you took care of these 2 bad guys in one fell swoop. Hearing that, Sasuke and Kakashi's eyes also returned to Tokiyu, and Sasuke couldn't help but ask curiously. Kakashi-sensei, did you just say that Shiyu used taiju? Not bad. Kakashi nodded, then said, that's a secret skill in the 8 inner gates called Watch Lotus. The 8 inner gates. Naruto and Sasuke both exclaimed, and then Naruto also asked, Kakashi, sensei, what is the 8 inner gates? Open black lens bracket. The 8 inner gates close black lens bracket is a body technique and a forbidden technique. Physique. Forbidden technique. Sasuke muttered in his mouth, and the look in Tokiyu's eyes changed again. In his opinion, the current Shiyu has completely surpassed himself. Chunin with one move, and he is also good at 2 assassination ninjas, which he can't do at all. To be honest, he was envious, but also jealous. After explaining to Naruto, Kakashi also expressed his doubts. Shiyu, tell me honestly, who taught you this martial art? Between the words, a figure flashed in his mind. This is none other than his friend Gai Huang. Because according to Kakashi, in today's Konoha shinobi village, it seems that only Emperor Gai has given this qualification and ability. As for Little Lee, it is no longer in his consideration. Because he also knew during the Chunin exam, that Little Lee had already mastered the 5th door, and after the 4th door, it would damage the human body. Therefore, Kakashi would scold Emperor Gai at that time. For Kakashi's questioning, Tokiyu did not lie once, but said directly, I taught myself. The simple 4 words made everyone stunned on the spot. Especially Kakashi. He has witnessed how Emperor Gai came all the way, and he is well aware of the bitterness in the middle. Moreover, the latter is based on the experience accumulated by his father. But Shiyu, it turned out to be self-taught. Although it is only the 1st door, it is enough to prove Shiyu's evildoer. Chapter 22. What is a genius? Self-taught. Kakashi stunned, thinking in his heart, this technique of the 8 inner gates was sealed in the Book of Seals in the 1st generation. Except for Gai, no one has practiced this technique so far. Open black lens bracket. The 8 inner gates close black lens bracket. Not only is it extremely difficult to cultivate, but you must also have enough perseverance to constantly exercise your physical body. Otherwise, it is impossible to be a complete master. This is also the reason why many people have no way to cultivate and do not practice cultivation. Not only do you have to suffer and tear, but if you don't have this talent, your ultimate achievement is limited. If Gai and Little Lee didn't have talent in ninjutsu and demonic illusion, they wouldn't be obsessed with the 8 inner gates. Because if they want to become strong, ordinary physical skills are far from enough. Seeing Kakashi's puzzled look, Tokiyu didn't hide it, and directly explained the reason. Kakashi-sensei. On the night Mizuki tricked Naruto into stealing the Book of Seals, Naruto and I opened it up out of curiosity. Hearing this, Kakashi finally knew where Naruto's multiple shadow clone techniques came from. It turned out to be from the Book of Seals. But even so, it surprised Cassius. According to Tokiyu, he nearly flipped through the Book of Seals and memorized the training method of the 8 inner gates by heart. And, in just a few days, the 1st door is opened. Hiss. Thinking of this, Kakashi couldn't help but gasped, looking at Tokiyu with shock. This kind of talent is too enchanting. What is a genius? Maybe this is it. If Kakashi knew that Tokiyu could open the 3rd door, he would probably be dumbfounded on the spot. Hearing Shiyu's words, Naruto on the side was puzzled. Shiyu, didn't you and I learn the same ninjutsu that night? I was curious and looked at this body art training method. Isn't the task too boring these days, so I tried to practice it. I didn't expect it to happen. Shiyu's I didn't expect it to happen caused Naruto to be hit hard. You must know that he was exhausted from practicing a ninjutsu. Tashiyu not only learned his multiple shadow clone technique in an instant, but now he also learned something, the 8 inner gates formation. Shiyu, this body art is harmful to the body, so you must not practice it again. Kakashi-sensei, don't worry, I'm measured. Shiyu replied, and then said, I have seen the introduction of such a body technique. As long as the 5 doors are not opened, the body will not be damaged. Having said that, the 3 doors will also overload the body, and long-term use will also have an impact on the human body. I will pay attention, and I will use it as little as possible in the future. So best. In the middle of the conversation, Kakashi nodded with satisfaction, and then said, but then again, Tokyo, you did a good job this time. Quote. Faced with the enemy, not only can you stay calm in the face of danger, but you can also attack the situation. You already have what a ninja should look like. And Sasuke, it's also very good, he knows how to protect the mission target. After Kakashi praised Tokiha and Sasuke, his eyes fell on Naruto and said, Naruto, you have to keep working hard. If you stand still like this time, then the next time you may be death. Kakashi didn't want to intimidate Naruto either, he wanted the latter to grow up. If not, when encountering such a situation in the future, I don't even know how I died. I see. At this time, Naruto's heart was aggrieved, because it was also the first actual combat, but Tokyo and Sasuke were both able to face danger. Only he is afraid. Shiyu, in particular, stood up to protect him. Because of this, he clenched his fists tightly, and swore in his heart, next time, I must not be afraid. Because, he doesn't want to be the tail of a crane. Naruto wasn't so worried at first, but Sasuke's words from the cylinder ghost hurt Naruto's self-esteem. Aren't you hurt, coward? Sasuke. Naruto shouted. He wanted to go up and fight with Sasuke, but was stopped by Tokyo. Naruto, if it's a man, talk with action. I didn't do well this time, but I will try to do it next time, and then I can get someone to shut up. Hearing the words, Naruto was stunned for a while, and his eyes were firm. Ah, I see. Seeing this scene, Kakashi couldn't help but glance at Shiyu, because the latter's mind is really not like what he should have at this age. Not only did he think so, but even his owner felt the same way. Immediately after, Kakashi tied the two ghost brothers under a tree. He wanted to find out who the two were targeting. The two of them up, Kakashi also asked. You are the ghost brother of the village of Kurigakure, known for fighting to the death at all costs. Our actions are so secretive, how did you notice it? Yi-Tu said unwillingly. He knew that if Kakashi didn't take precautions in advance, it would be impossible to escape with the substitute technique. Before Kakashi would bring it, Tokyo was the first to say, it's not because of the flaws that you two leaked out of your own cleverness. Shiyu, did you see something? Kakashi's words, Naruto, Sasuke, and Dazner's eyes also fell on Tokyo. As a Jonin, Kakashi has been on missions all the year round. With his rich experience, he can detect that the two lurking are excusable, but how did Toshiyu, a fledgling genin, detect it in advance? This made everyone very curious, even the ghost brothers. Chapter 23 Arrive in the Land of Waves. It's actually quite simple. Shiyu chuckled, and then said, the weather has been hot and dry these days, and it hasn't rained today. How could there be any accumulation of water? Besides, there is only one beach. Ah! The two ghost brothers who heard the words were stunned for a moment, and this detail was obviously not thought of at all. Shiyu, your analysis is good. Observing the surrounding environment closely on the way is also one of the essential skills of ninjas. Kakashi complimented Tokyo again, and he had been alerted to this earlier because of this. But after hearing Kakashi's words, Dazner's expression froze. Since you knew in advance, why did you let those little devils do it? Aren't you afraid that something will happen to them? Dazner's words seemed to be worried about Shiyu and the others, but in fact he was worried about his own safety, because in his eyes, Shiyu and the three were just newborn calves. It wasn't until Shiyu took action to knock down the two ghost brothers that he changed his mind. Because of these two guys I can kill in a split second. An extremely domineering sentence was spit out from Kaka's mouth, and Shiyu didn't have the slightest doubt about it. Because Kakashi does have this ability, it is understandable. It's just that I didn't expect that Shiyu would have such ability to kill two Chunins. Although there is a bit of luck, his strength is unquestionable. And the fact is true, if it wasn't for the two ghost brothers underestimating the enemy, Shiyu couldn't easily succeed. Of course, there's a little more. I need to know, who is the enemy's target? Kakashi glanced at Dishonor between the words, obviously already had the answer. Knowing the look in Kakashi's eyes, Dishonor froze in his heart, and his voice was lost in his guilty conscience. What do you mean? To put it bluntly, is it you who are being targeted? Or is it us? But judging from the situation just now, it is clear that the person being targeted is not us. Kakashi pointed out directly. It seems that this mission you have entrusted has exceeded the category of sea level. The enemy has been upgraded from the so-called mafia and thieves to ninjas. This is a high-risk B-level mission. You may have a last resort, but this makes me very embarrassed. First of all, your commission is not enough. Secondly, the three of them are only newcomers who have just been promoted to genin. Once a stronger enemy appears, it is inevitable that their lives will not be in danger. As their mentor, I naturally can't make fun of their lives. Kakashi's words, Dishonor also looked at a loss. He does have his own difficulties, but if the truth is revealed now, I am afraid that his life will not be guaranteed. The Land of Waves will not. In the future, it will be completely reduced to a dead island. That teacher, I want to talk to you about something. Just when Dasna was about to tell Kakashi some of the whole story, Tokyo said again. Uncle Dishonor, it's because of Cardo. Hearing Moyu's words, Dishonor was stunned for a moment, and his eyes became weird when he looked at Shiyu. It's true that Shiyu's strength is beyond his imagination, but strength is strength. How did he know about this? You don't need to be surprised. A few days ago, I happened to meet two residents who left from the Land of Waves while doing a mission. From their mouths, I learned that Cardo was there with one hand covering the sky. Gato. Kakashi murmured, and then said, but that one of the few richest people in the world. Dasna sighed, and then said, since you all guessed it, then I have nothing to hide. That's right, it's that tycoon Cardo. He is the boss of the shipping company on the surface, but in private he colluded with the mafia and ninjas to smuggle, do products and control products treacherous people. Relying on his own power, he often occupies other people's companies in some weak countries. He is a heinous villain. Immediately after. It is a series of memories of Dishonor. About a year ago, that guy was eyeing the Land of Waves. After Dasner's narration, Kakashi and others finally knew the whole story. In the end, under his begging, Kakashi also agreed to continue to complete the task. Kakashi has absolute confidence in his own strength, and he feels that he can protect the three of them. And Shiyu naturally wouldn't object, because as long as he stayed by Dasna's side, Teodi would not show up until he was cut off. Sasuke did not fail or objected to his first mission, and Naruto was mocked by Sasuke because of his unsatisfactory performance for the first time, so he had no reason to object. So far, the Guardian mission continues. After a long journey, a group of 5 took a small boat and headed for the small island where the Land of Waves was located. After half an hour, they finally saw the gate of the Land of Waves, said the boatman who knew Dasna at this time. Dishonor. So far, we've been safe, and to be on the safe side, we're taking underground waterways with aquatic plants. Seeing Dasna's nod, the boatman also accelerated his paddling speed. Obviously, Cardo's killing method made him very afraid. After a moment, Shiyu and the others passed through the exit of the underground waterway and finally arrived in the territory of the Land of Waves. Chapter 24 Ghost Man, Teodi will not be cut again. After going to the island, the 4 Shiyu escorted Dasna home, and their characters were to escort the latter home safely and protect him until the completion of the Cross-Strait Bridge. Shiyu didn't care. I saw that it was okay to kill. The Peach Land will not be cut again. As long as Teodi is not killed again, Cardo and others will be destroyed, and there is no need to worry about protecting Dasna after building the bridge. At that time, he just thought he had come to this small island for a tour. On the way, Naruto rushed to the front, because the battle with the ghost brothers soon made him brooding. So, this time he leads the way. Because he didn't want to lose to Sasuke. As for Shiyu, he has nothing to do, because the two are best friends and have a very close relationship. When the crowd was halfway, Naruto suddenly looked left and right, as if there were people around. After some pretense, the kunai in his hand shot directly into the middle of a pile of vegetation. Seeing that there was no movement there, Naruto said in order to avoid embarrassment. "Ah, it's a mouse." Seeing this, Sasuke spit out a word, "Hey." And Kakashi also reminded Naruto, throwing a shuriken casually is very dangerous. Seeing that there was no movement around, Dishonor also stepped out of his nervousness, and immediately gave a loud shout. "Dwarf Melon, don't scare people, okay?" And just after Dazna's voice fell, the kunai in Tokiyu's hand shot out instantly. This scene made everyone stunned. Clang! A second before the shuriken pierced the tree trunk, Kakashi felt a slight fluctuation, and his eyes instantly locked in a position. This position is nowhere else, it is exactly where Tashiyu's shuriken was shot. If Naruto shoots indiscriminately, everyone will think that the latter is rambling, but if Shiyu shoots, the result will be different. No way, who said that Shiyu's performance on the way was too amazing? When everyone cautiously stepped forward to take a look, they found that there was no one there, and there was no clue. Only one terrified rabbit. Seeing this scene, everyone except Kakashi thought that Tokiyuha had made a fuss like Naruto this time. But it is better than Naruto anyway, after all, there is a rabbit. Seeing this scene, Dishonor was also relieved and said, "It turned out to be just a rabbit, which surprised me." But Shiyu made his heart that had just been lifted up again. "Don't take it lightly, the enemy may be hiding around." "Enemy?" Naruto snorted in surprise, and looked around very carefully. But apart from the 5 of them, there was only this frightened little white rabbit in front of him. "Shiyu, aren't you overhearted and have no enemies? Look carefully at the breed of this rabbit." Hearing Shiyu's words, everyone's eyes fell on the little white rabbit, and even Kakashi looked at Shiyu with interest. This is not an ordinary rabbit, this is a relatively rare snow rabbit. This rabbit's hair color changes with the length of the sun, and in winter, when the sun is shorter, it's white. And in places where the sun is often longer, such as in the spring, its hair takes on a brown color. Hearing the words, Naruto was still confused, and then asked, "What does this have to do with whether there are enemies around?" "Look at the climate right now, it's the turn of spring and summer. It stands to reason that the hair of the snow rabbit in the wild should be brown, but the snow rabbit in front of me is white. From this, it can be concluded that this snow rabbit was raised by humans." Hearing this, Naruto still didn't quite understand the connection between the two, but Sasuke already knew it, and then added, "You idiot, don't you understand? Shiyu means that this snow rabbit was raised by the enemy, and it was possible that the enemy used it as a substitute to escape. So it is." Hearing Sasuke's explanation, Naruto suddenly realized. Kakashi also glanced at Shiyu Gao. He obviously did not expect Shiyu to even dabble in this field of knowledge. Kakashi, who had already seen through the enemy's tactics, was already vigilant, and he muttered in his heart, "It's coming so fast. And everything is just as Shiyu said, in the surrounding forest, there is indeed an enemy." At this time, the latter was secretly peeping at the 5 of them. From beginning to end, his eyes were always on one person. That is, Kakashi. In his opinion, the only thing that can hinder him is this Konoha copy ninja. Crouching on a tree trunk, the corners of his mouth moved slightly and uttered a word. "Sharingan Kakashi." "Fun." The voice fell, and I saw that he directly pulled out a large knife behind his back. The blade was extremely sharp, and there was an obvious gap on it. But that is not disconnection, but itself. Because this sword is one of the 7 ninja swords, broken sword beheading sword. And the enemy lurking in the dark is none other than the second owner of this knife. Ghost man, Teodi will not be cut again. P.S. Old irons who have flowers and evaluation tickets can send them. And finally, you can leave your noble footprints in the comment area. Chapter 25 Missed Assassin. After feeling a killing intent, Kakashi immediately shouted to the crowd. Get down. Kakashi's perception is really sharp, and at the moment when everyone fell down, a spinning big move flew over their heads. If they didn't get down just now, it's probably broken in two by now. Crack. The decapitation sword that didn't hit a single person was directly chopped on a big tree, and there was a figure accompanying it. After seeing the figure standing on top of the sword, Kakashi spit out two words. It's him. Needless to say, Kakashi is no stranger to Taoji Zaibujian. Because of this, Kakashi's eyes showed a dignified look at this time. Obviously, in his eyes, the latter was not an ordinary person. Ghost man, Teodi will not be cut again, as incomparable with the previous, Mingye, ghost brothers. The two are not on the same level at all. Seeing the enemy appear, Naruto, who does not know the strength of the opponent, is eager to try. Obviously, he wants to get back the face he lost earlier. Humph, here we come. I won't lose to Sasuke this time. Look at me mine. And just as Naruto took a step, he was stopped by Kakashi. I'll stand back, he is not an enemy you can deal with. Between the words, Kakashi's eyes stayed on the body that would not be cut again, and he did not dare to relax. Because the ability to not cut is a bit weird, it is famous for silent assassination, and Kurigakure ninjas like this have a special title. Called Missed Assassin. Oh, who am I to be? It turned out to be a defected ninja from the village of Kurigakure, Peach Land no slash. If your opponent is you, it may be a little difficult. Kakashi reached out and touched his forehead between the words. Zabuza, who was standing above the big knife, was also surprised when he saw this. At this moment, he finally knew why the ghost brother of Underworld had lost his hand. It turned out that the opponent was the man of Konoha. But he never imagined that the ghost brother, Mingye, was not defeated by Kakashi, but by what he thought was the little ghost Tokiyu. I didn't expect to meet open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket Kakashi here. To be honest, I'm not fighting you, my goal is just the old man behind you. As soon as he said this, Gazner's heart froze, because he could clearly feel the killing intent emanating from the former. Although it is so far away, it already feels suffocating. Furthermore, even Kakashi, a Jonin, is so attached to it. This person is definitely not a generalist. When Naruto wondered what Sharingan was, Sasuke was shocked. In his impression, open black lens bracket Sharingan. Close black lens bracket the physique that only a few members of the Uchiha family can have, why not say that Kakashi has Sharingan? Before seeing it with his own eyes, he was still suspicious. He was the only one present who was not shocked at all, because all this was under his control. Just then, Kakashi's voice sounded again. Shiyu, the three of you set up a swastika formation to protect Mr. Dishonor. If you don't cut it again, your opponent is me. Kakashi finished speaking, he slowly lifted the forehead guard, and the right eye that was covered was finally exposed. At this moment, you can clearly see that there is a visible scar on the eyelid of that eye, but this is not the point. The point is that it's just the eyes that are Yuhi. That's right, that's a Sharingan. That is a open black lens bracket 3 Tomo Sharingan close black lens bracket. But unfortunately, Kakashi does not have the bloodline of the Uchiha family, so he cannot use the power of Blood Wheel Eye to ultimate, nor can he automatically switch Blood Wheel Eye. Because of this Sharingan is always on. It is consuming Cassis's chakra all the time, resulting in the latter's chakra always being unable to maintain its peak state. This open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket belongs to Uchiha Obito. Moreover, when Nohara Rin died in Battle of Kanabi Bridge, this eye had already evolved into Mangekyo Blood Wheel Eye. It's just that Kakashi at that time passed out because of chakra exhaustion, so he didn't know that his Sharingan had evolved into Mangekyo. Other words, he still doesn't know that Sharingan has a higher form. It wasn't until Itachi came to Konoha that Kakashi didn't know the existence of open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket after the battle with him. After a long period of groping, I finally succeeded in opening this form. The first time it appeared was when I was fighting Deidara. Seeing Kakashi's Sharingan again, Sasuke and Naruto were surprised at the same time. Sasuke was shocked at why Kakashi, a non-Uchiha family member, possessed the blood stain limit of Sharingan. And the shock is that this eye seems to have seen it there, but it can't remember for a while. This Sharingan Naruto did see it, and he saw it on Shiyu in the night when Mizuki was killed. But since Tokiha closed immediately, he thought it was a hallucination. But seeing such eyes again now brought back his memory immediately. Next second, his gaze couldn't help falling on Shiyu's eyes, but unfortunately Shiyu's pupils were still black at this time. Is it really my delusion? After thinking about it in his heart, Naruto also asked aloud, Sharingan, what exactly is Sharingan? Chapter 26 Ninja, The Art of Kurigakure. Sharingan is a kind of pupil technique. A person with this kind of eye can see through demonic illusion, taijutsu and ninjutsu in an instant, and be able to fight back as they are. But Sharingan's abilities are much more than that. Hearing Sasuke's words, Naruto was also surprised. He didn't expect Sharingan to be so pervert. Sharingan is actually born out of Chakra as the ancestor Otsutsuki Kagaya open black lens bracket reincarnation Sharingan close black lens bracket. For example, Sasuke's last master, S6 Tomo Rinnegan, as long as you evolve once, you can reach the ultimate 9 Tomo Rinnegan. At that time, the pupils will change to Yuhi color, creating the strongest pupils. Open black lens bracket reincarnation Sharingan close black lens bracket. But how difficult this step is, even the Six Paths Fairy has not done it. Another point is that after Sharingan evolves into Rinnegan, if you want to use their respective abilities, you must switch them. This was confirmed by Uchiha Madara in the Fourth Ninja War. And once it evolves into Tomo Rinnegan, it doesn't have to be so troublesome. Because the two have merged. In this case, the ability of two eyes can be used without switching, which is why the later Sasuke can still use Susanoo in the state of 1 Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and 1 6 Tomo Rinnegan. And if you don't cut the words again, you will also add a few sentences. Yes, Sharingan's abilities are more than that. What's more terrifying than this is that it can instantly see through what ninjutsu the enemy does and copy it. The middle of the words, Zaibuzan looked directly at Kakashi, and said again, in the handbook of the Kurigakure Assassination Department, there is your information, and it is written that the man who copied thousands of ninjutsu, copy ninja Hatake Kakashi. Naruto and Sasuke were very shocked when they heard the words that would not be cut again, and Naruto couldn't help but chanted. Is Kakashi-sensei so strong? This is the end of the chat, I have to get rid of that old man quickly. Hearing these words, Tokyo and the others followed Kakashi's orders and protected him around Dasna. And Kakashi himself has blocked the way forward. Seeing this, he said, it seems that if you want to kill the old man, you have to deal with you first. Kakashi. When the voice fell, Zaibuzan put a stamp in his hand, and then a low shout came from his mouth. Ninja, the art of Kurigakure. Immediately after, a cloud of mist appeared out of nowhere, blurring the vision of Dashiu and the others. In the next second, No// will disappear from their field of vision. Gone. Always pay attention. Naruto, who did not / anymore, snorted in surprise. Seeing this, Kakashi also hurriedly reminded Shiyu and the four, you all cheer me up. This Zaibuzan is the best at silent killing techniques. Maybe you will already be a woohoo before you return to God. Hearing the words, Shiyu directly activated the Sharingan. With his current strength, he can't take it lightly if he doesn't cut it. And just after Tokiyu opened Sharingan, Sasuke and Naruto were shocked. Sasuke was shocked by why Tokiyu also used Sharingan. He has seen two people who are not from the Uchiha family have Sharingan in one day, but he himself does not. At this moment, he doubted whether he belonged to the Uchiha clan. Is it the abandoned baby that Uchiha Fugaku picked up from the garbage? Uchiha Fugaku, the father of Sasuke and Itachi, is also the existence that opens Mangekyo Sharingan. While Naruto was shocked, he kept saying in his heart, so it wasn't a hallucination that night, Shiyu also has Sharingan. Not only were they so amazed, Kakashi and Zaibuju lurking in the thick fog were no exception. I didn't expect that what the three generations said was true. Tokiyu actually owns the Sharingan of the Uchiha family. Kakashi said. Sharingan, is this kid from the Uchiha clan? Zabuza stunned. Although Naruto and Sasuke shared the same doubts, they knew that now was not the time to ask these questions. The most important thing now is to defeat the enemy hiding in the fog. At this time, the icy voice of Zaibujian came from the fog. 8 places of throat, spine, Jinchuriki column, lung, carotid artery, subclavian vein, liver, kidney, heart. Ask, you want me to attack that place, hee. Naruto, Sasuke, and Dazner's hearts shuddered when they heard the cold-blooded voice. Kakashi seemed to sense the fear emanating from Naruto and Sasuke, and immediately released his murderous aura into Chakra. Spear. The invisible confrontation between the two murderous auras made Sasuke and others feel deeply depressed, as if they were about to suffocate. Even Moyu, who had been prepared for a long time, had a solemn expression. At this moment, Kakashi's voice also sounded, giving them some encouragement and confidence. Sasuke. Don't worry, I will protect you with my life. Shiyu, who heard the words, also said, Kakashi, Sensei, you can fight with peace of mind, we will protect ourselves. Kakashi nodded, and was also focused on vigilance around him, ready to fight at any time. Chapter 27 Water Prison Technique. In a quiet atmosphere. There was no fluctuation in the air, but a shadow was quietly approaching Shiyu and the four of them. Kakashi's Sharingan can't play the ultimate, and it is hard to see that hiding in the fog will not cut, but Tokiyu's Sharingan, due to the opening of the system, does not have this limitation. Just when Zaibujan was about to appear next to Shiyu and others, Shiyu also hurriedly reminded him. Disperse. Tokiyu took Dazna aside while he was speaking, and Naruto and Sasuke also moved after hearing the sound, appearing on both sides of Tokiyu. Just the next moment they dodge. The sound of no slashing was the place where they stood before, and Kakashi at this time also reacted. He turned around and stared at Mr. Zaibujian, and at the same time did not forget to praise Shiyu. Shiyu, you did a good job. But at this time, Zaibujan stared at Shiyu with a stunned expression. He didn't expect his Kurigaku technique to be seen through by Shiyu. Even Kakashi, who was Jonin, didn't react as quickly as the former. To this, he couldn't help but murmured, is this the ultimate effect of Sharingan? Looks like this kid needs to be dealt with first. After the voice fell, Zaibujan temporarily shifted his target to Shiyu. Without any unnecessary nonsense, he directly swung the big knife in his hand. Just as Tokiyu was about to fight back, Kakashi moved first. Because his Sharingan had already seen the trajectory of Zabuzai's movement, he instantly reached the front of Zabuzai's body, and the kuwu in his hand stabbed into the latter's body without hesitation. Seeing this scene, Sasuke muttered, "Is it over?" But the next second, Zabujan's body turned into a ball of water, and another Zabujan appeared behind Kakashi. "Teacher, watch your back!" Naruto hurriedly shouted, but it was too late, and the big sword he swung out had already cut Kakashi in two. Kakashi, who was cut in two, also turned into a ball of water. This scene made Dazai Yuzan suddenly startled. Water body surgery. Could it be that he copied my ninjutsu in the mist just now? When I thought of this, I was extremely shocked if I didn't cut it. He knew that Kakashi was dubbed the copy ninja, but he didn't expect the latter to be able to do so. In that case, he can still copy his ninjutsu. And just in between the astonishment, a voice came into his ears. Don't move. Kakashi who spoke. At this time, he had already appeared behind Zaibuchuan, and the shuriken in his hand was lying across the latter's throat. It's over, don't cut it again. Seeing this scene, Naruto was also pleasantly surprised. As expected of Mr. Kakashi, it's amazing. However, at this time, if he did not cut it again, there was no sign of panic. On the contrary, his words revealed a touch of disdain, and sneered, Kakashi, you really have 2 strokes. But this is like solving this, uncle, you are too naive. The voice fell, and the figure that would not be cut again turned into a ball of water. Undoubtedly, this figure is another water body. Immediately afterwards, the real Zabushu appeared behind Kakashi, without any unnecessary nonsense. The turn of the decapitation sword was to slash towards Kakashi. Call out. Although Kakashi dodged the blow with his vigorous movement, he was kicked away with a single kick. After landing safely, Kakashi jumped into the river after a brief thought. Originally, Kakashi wanted to use Zabuza to investigate, but he was noticed by Zabuza. Zabuza, who jumped into the water, secretly cast the water prison technique. It made the river water so heavy that Kakashi, who had just jumped out of the water, couldn't get out of trouble right away. It directly caused him to be trapped in it without being cut. I wanted to hide in the water first. What a mistake. Hearing Kakashi's words, he smiled and said, Hey, you've been fooled, that's why I kicked you this way. As a Kurigaku ninja, my combat power has increased a lot in the water. Kakashi, now that I've got you under control, it's so easy for me to kill those brats. Our battle will be going on later. The voice fell, and he did not cut his hands again and hand seal again. Open black lens bracket water body art close black lens bracket. A low drink sounded, and a second one appeared above the water. Immediately after. Under the eyes of Shiyu and the others, Shui, who was not slashing again, slowly walked in front of them. You little brats, don't think that you are a ninja when you wear that ninja forehead protector. Real ninjas are only those who have experienced life and death. In other words, only those who are registered by this uncle can be regarded as ninjas, and you are not qualified. Hearing the words that would not be cut again, Naruto and Sasuke were both stunned, and they didn't know what to do for a while. Kakashi, the strongest among them, has been trapped by the latter. Can the genin who just graduated from them defeat each other? Just when they were at a loss, Shiyu stood up. If that's the case, then today I'll add another name to your roster, but I don't know. Do you have a life to remember? As the arrogant voice fell, everyone was shocked, even if he did not cut himself. Yo, what a funny kid. I'm starting to like you a little bit, but unfortunately, you are destined to die under my sword today. Thanks open black lens bracket 2007 **13 zzm close black lens bracket old tie for the reward. Thanks open black lens bracket 2007 **13 zzm close black lens bracket old tie for the reward. Thanks open black lens bracket 2007 **13 zzm close black lens bracket old tie for the reward. Thanks open black lens bracket 2007 **13 zzm close black lens bracket old tie for the reward. Chapter 28 The longest hand seal in history. Seeing Tokiyu preparing to fight Zabuza, Kakashi also hurriedly said. Shiyu. You don't have to worry about me, hurry up and take Dazna away. If you don't cut the water too far away from the main body, it won't last long. Kakashi knew that Shiyu defeated the ghost brother, Mingye, but Zabuza was not at the same level as him. No slash is not only powerful, but also bloodthirsty. In Kurigakure village, the young Zaibu beheaded all the more than 100 candidates who were with him. So, in Kakashi's view, even if the three of Tokiha were put together, they would not be the latter's opponent. Teacher. You said on the day of the assessment that we are a team. Since it's a team, how can we leave our partners and run away? I don't want to be a bad ninja. Kakashi was also taken aback when he heard Tokiyu's words. When Naruto and Sasuke heard the words, their eyes became firm, and they didn't have the previous fear. Shiyu is right, we won't escape alone. Naruto shouted and came directly to Shiyu's side. As for Sasuke, this tsundere ghost. Although he didn't say anything, his body was honest and he also stood on Shiyu's side. Seeing this scene, Kakashi was also very moved. Naruto, Sasuke, this person's physical skills are not under Kakashi-sensei, so be careful when you fight later. And after Tokiyu explained the battle plan to Naruto and Sasuke, he opened the second gate of the 8 inner gates without any unnecessary nonsense. Close the door, open it. Resting the door, relieve the physical fatigue restrictions, and overload the body to squeeze the energy to restore the physical strength, which can offset the fatigue caused by the consumption of opening the door. Swish. In the next second, Shiyu's figure was that everyone disappeared in place, and when they reappeared, they were already in front of Zaibuken. So fast. This scene makes it very shocking even if it is not cut. He didn't expect Shiyu's speed to be so fast, he had already caught up with his speed. But now he is allowed to think about it, even if there is only a 1% chance, he doesn't want to, but he doesn't want to capsize in the gutter. Kakashi, who was trapped in the water prison, was also shocked when he saw this. Second door. Clang. The unstoppable broadsword blocked Shiyu's shuriken attack, and the powerful force made Shiyu somewhat unable to support it. Little devil, have some strength. After the voice fell, Zaibujian increased his strength, and the big knife in his hand was madly waving. Clang, clang, clang. Under the continuous offensive, Shiyu was finally unable to resist, and his body was cut into 2 pieces by Zaibu's slash. Seeing this scene, the faces of Kasase and others changed greatly. I thought that Shiyu would say goodbye to this world, but no one thought that Shiyu, who was cut in 2, turned into a ball of water. What? Water out. Zabuza let out a stunned voice, but this made Kakashi and the others heave a sigh of relief, and at the same time, they were also secretly shocked. They didn't expect that Shiyu would actually learn the water body art that would never be cut again. Not to mention that they didn't think of it, even if they didn't cut it, they would be dumbfounded. If he hadn't known that Shiyu had a pair of Sharingans, he would have wondered if the latter had opened up. Like Kakashi, did you copy my ninjutsu? When his voice fell, Shiyu's figure had already appeared behind him. Seeing that Shiyu's shuriken was about to hit him, but just an inch away, he was firmly grasped by the slasher. Little devil, I admit that I underestimated you. When he stopped complimenting, he immediately said, however, this is the end of it. The voice fell, and his big sword also slashed at Shiyu. Shiyu, who was firmly grasped, couldn't break free at all. The broadsword hit him without any suspense, but it was surprising that the moment Shiyu's body was hit, it suddenly turned into a cloud of smoke and disappeared. Shadow clone. Shiyu's voice also rang out just as he landed in astonishment. I just found out now, it's too late. Next second. I saw Shiyu suddenly fall from the sky, without any fancy, and pierce the head that would not be cut with one blow. At this point, the water body that will not be cut has been solved by Shiyu. At this time, Naruto and Sasuke, according to Tokiyu's plan, have teamed up to use the Fuma Shuriken Shadow Windmill to force Zabuza to remove the water prison technique. Because Zaibujian's main body has to trap Kakashi and his movement is limited, Naruto and Sasuke will work together to rescue Kakashi. Not only that, but at the same time that the water prison technique was cracked, Naruto's shuriken was scratched on his face. This made him extremely angry. Damn brat. While drinking violently, Zabuza waved the Fuma Shuriken in his hand and was about to cut Naruto into pieces. However, a second before the Fuma Shuriken was thrown, there was a sound of metal collision. Clang. Then everyone saw that the high-speed spinning Fuma Shuriken was blocked by Kakashi's bracers. Shiu, Naruto, Sasuke, the three of you cooperated well this time. Go back and add chicken legs. Leave it to me next. Kaka's meaning is very simple, and then it is his turn to pretend. In this regard, Shiu is naturally extremely happy. With his current strength, it may be difficult to kill Zabuza, but it is not impossible. However, since Kakashi took the initiative to do this kind of tiring work, why should he ask for it? System only requires him to kill Teacher Land, but there is no requirement for him to do it himself. So sit on the mountain and watch the tiger fight. Isn't it fragrant to be a melon eater? If I don't slash, I won't hit the same move a second time. What are you going to do next? Humph. Zabuza, who heard the words, snorted lightly, and immediately opened the distance from Kakashi. Immediately afterwards, the hand quickly tied the seal. And Kaka also used the copying ability of Sharingan to carry out the longest hand seal in history at the same time as Zabuza. Ugly, Shen, Mao, Z, Hai, Yu, Ugly, Wu, Yu, Z, Yin, Shu, Yin, Si, Ugly, Wei, Si, Hai, Wei, Z, Ren, Shen, Yu, Chen, Yu _Ugly, Wu, Wei, Yin, Si, Z, Shen, Mao, Hai, Chen, Wei, Z, Ugly, Shen, Yu, Ren, Z, Hai, Yu. 44 in total. The next second after the word Yu was finished, the same 7 words suddenly spit out from the throats of the two of them. Sweden Water Style Water Dragon Bullet Art. The second generation Hokage, Senju Tobirama, sees this scene. It is estimated that they will despise the two of them for a long time. Because this technique only needs 3 seals in the hands of the latter. Chapter 29 Ice Shield Ninja. With the sound of Kakashi and Zabuza falling, the water surface suddenly surged, and ripples spread, as if something was taking shape. Next second. Water dragons, formed by condensation of water, rushed out of the water and rose into the air, and their body shapes were almost the same. Immediately afterwards, the 2 water dragons collided with each other under the astonished eyes of everyone. Boom! With a loud bang, 2 water dragons with similar power suddenly burst open, and huge waves spread out towards the surrounding. Seeing this scene, Sasuke was still deeply envious while being shocked. Such a complex Indian style was released in the blink of an eye, and it completely imitated the opponent's ninjutsu. Is this the copy ability of Sharingan? It is absolutely ironic that someone from the Uchiha clan should envy a foreigner with Sharingan. Damn. This guy is really as rumored, and can copy other people's ninjutsu in an instant. I don't believe in this evil. After an angry shout, Zabuza decided to use Zeon's move to decide the winner. However, what surprised him was that no matter what he did next, Kakashi was the first to predict, and even the latter knew what he wanted to say. But what shocked him more was not this, but the next scene. The ninjutsu that originally belonged to him was first activated by Kakashi. Sweden Water Style Great Waterfall Technique. Quote. Looking at the monstrous water curtain surging up behind Kakashi, the original small river instantly felt like a big river, which made Zabuza and couldn't help being shocked. How is this possible? This is obviously the technique I want to use to deal with him. How could he activate it faster than me? At the same time as Zabuza's astonishment fell, his whole person was directly annihilated by the monstrous water curtain. Its power is so great that I don't know how many flowers, plants and trees were washed away during the period, and some rocks could not be supported, and were swept away by it and shattered. After a while, the huge water flow stopped. Look around, it's a mess. And Zabuza, who was hit from the front, was leaning on a big tree at the moment, and his breath was wilting. Seeing this, Kakashi threw out the four-handed Raijin directly, and firmly blocked the limbs that would not be cut again, so that there was no chance of escape. Limbs are sealed, unable to hand seal. The seriously injured Zabuza raised his head with difficulty, looked at the man who flashed in front of him, and spat out a word in disbelief. Why is this happening? Could it be that you can predict the future? Yes. Kakashi gave him a two-word answer, but in fact he was able to do it all because of the ability of Sharingan. If you don't cut it, let's end it. Kakashi's voice fell, and he was about to give the last blow to Zabuza. But at this moment, the sudden scene made everyone stunned. Because before Kakashi's shot, someone took the first step. Call out, call out. In two gaps. After the voice fell into the ears of Shiyu and the others, they saw that there were two more silver needles between the necks that were not cut at this time. Boom. Immediately afterwards, if he did not cut it, he slowly fell down in the eyes of everyone, followed by a voice. Finally kill him. Hearing this, Shiyu and the others looked at them. What caught my eye was a mysterious man with a mask. The white mask had Yuhi and black stripes on it, which seemed to belong to some kind of organization. Looking at its size, Shiyu and the others are just a little bigger. After Kakashi examined Zabu's corpse and confirmed the fact of the latter's death, his attention was also focused on this mysterious man wearing a mask. Kakashi and the others didn't know the identity of this mysterious person, but Tokyo knew it. He is the partner who lives with each other, the owner of the Ice Shield, Bloodstain Boundary, the descendant of the Shui clan, Bai. This person is a young man with the appearance of a woman, and the snow rabbit that Shiyu and others met earlier was raised in captivity. Are you from the assassination department of Kurigakure Shinobu village? Was slightly taken aback by Kakashi's question, then nodded. I didn't expect you to recognize my identity, it's a little surprising. However, having said that, I still want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to kill and never kill again. Hearing this, Kakashi looked at Shiro and secretly speculated in his heart. In his opinion, Bai's age should be similar to that of Shiyu and the others. At such an age, he can become a member of the Kurigakure assassination squad. Her strength can be seen in Amadara. Such geniuses are rare, but not absent, and Kakashi himself is one of them. Your battle is over. But I still need to deal with the body because there are so many secrets in him, I hope you understand. The voice of Bai flashed from the tree to the side of Zabuza. Just as he was about to take the corpse away, the sound of a voice made him stunned for a moment. Wait. It was none other than Shiyu who spoke. Now that he was seriously injured and could no longer fight, how could he let the latter leave, and then come to trouble himself after the injury recovered? Shiyu would never do such a stupid thing. What's your problem? It's not me that has the problem, it's you. When Shiyu said this, Kakashi and the others were stunned and thought to themselves, could it be that there is something wrong with the masked boy in front of him? Shiyu's amazing performance along the way made Kakashi and others believe that the former's words have high credibility. What do you mean by that? Baiji asked. Hee. Hearing this, Shiyu sneered, and then said, in front of me, you should stop pretending. Actually, you didn't come to kill him, but to save him. P.S. The old iron who has flowers and evaluation tickets can send it. The author thank you. Chapter 30 Inescapable Battle Open Black Lens Bracket 2000 Flowers plus Change Close Black Lens Bracket. Actually, you didn't come to kill him, but to save him. When Shiyu said these words, Bai Deng was stunned. If it hadn't been for him wearing a mask to cover the stunned expression on his face, I'm afraid it would have been revealed. Shiyu, did you find something? Kakashi asked. The evidence is in Zaifushuo. Hearing the words, Naruto looked to see if he would not cut it again, and then carefully probed, and after finding that there was no problem, he asked aloud. I said Shiyu, don't make me mad, tell us why. The reason is simple. Look, if you don't cut off the 2 silver needles on the neck, they are not hidden weapons for assassination at all, but for treatment. Words. Kakashi's eyes returned to Zabuza again. After some careful investigation, silver needle above the neck was indeed a special treatment, not a hidden weapon designed for assassination. Seeing that the situation was a bit delicate, Bai tried another way to get out of trouble. Even if my silver needle is for medical use, but now I'm dead if I don't cut it, why should I save him? If everything is as you say, there's nothing wrong with it, but the problem is, you won't die if you don't cut it. As Tokyo said this, Kakashi was the first to react, instantly locking in Shiro's position. Because after discovering that no neck cutting is a medical purpose silver needle, he already realized that something was wrong. Shiyu, are you kidding me? Naruto had just raised his doubts, and before Tokyo could answer his doubts, Kakashi was the first to speak. If I'm not mistaken, if I don't cut it again, it's probably because the silver needle on its neck has sealed some kind of acupuncture point and entered a state of suspended animation. Fake death. Sasuke and Naruto didn't expect this kind of cowardly operation, and their faces couldn't help showing surprise. Kakashi-sensei. According to what you said, as long as the silver needle on his neck is removed, he will be able to come back to life. Naruto asked. Seeing Kakashi nodding, Naruto looked eager to try. When Bai saw this scene, the pretty face under the mask looked bewildered. The current situation is completely beyond his expectations and has been out of his control. And the reason for all this is Shiyu. At this time, his eyes were fixed on the latter, and he never imagined that because of the small detail of the silver needle, he would reveal his flaws. Seeing that Naruto was about to pull out the silver needle on his neck that would never be cut, Bai immediately stepped forward and stood in front of Naruto. Because once the silver needle is pulled out, if the bleeding is not stopped in time, it will die if it is not cut. And Shiyu and the others will definitely not let him help Noja for treatment. Silver needle that would not cut his neck. I didn't expect that I would be exposed because of 2 silver needles. Wipe this one out, no doubt admitting that he was here to save him. However, even without these 2 silver needles, Tokyo knew that he was a partner who would never cut. No way. Who called Shiyu a transmigrator? If you guessed correctly, the snow rabbit that was not used as a stand-in was raised by you. You're smarter than I thought. Baida between the words admired Shiyu in his heart, because he had never met someone as smart as Shiyu. There are not so many coincidences in the world, and if there are, most of them are premeditated. Bai knew that the situation was out of his control, and said bluntly. I don't want to be your enemy, I just want to keep him. That's all. It's a pity, if you don't cut it today, you must die. Shiyu also confessed. He will not give up the task of the system because, Bai, is a good person. Taking a step back, even if there is no system that does not issue this task, he will not let it go. Because he is not the virgin. Today, their battle with Bai is doomed to be inevitable. Kakashi knew that Bai was extraordinary, and he wanted to solve it himself, but the next second, his sanity suddenly became blurred. No, overuse your eyes. The last, was finished, Kakashi fell to the ground under everyone's astonished eyes. Boom. As his body made a firm contact with the ground, everyone believed in this fact. Kakashi-sensei. Seeing this, Naruto also shouted, and there was a deep worry on his face. So does Dishonor. Now that Kakashi has fallen, will the 3 of them be able to deal with the mysterious masked man in front of them? Naruto, don't worry. Kakashi-sensei only fainted when he used Sharingan too much, and he'll be fine after taking a good rest. That's good. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief between the words. The same is true for Sasuke who heard the words. Although he didn't say it, he also had a feeling for Kakashi. Not for others, just because of what Kakashi said before. Sasuke, don't be afraid, I will protect you with my life. Naruto, Sasuke. Now Kakashi-sensei can't fight anymore, and now we can only fight against the 3 of us. Do you two have any problems? Of course I'm fine, but I don't know if Sasuke is okay. Naruto in the conversation did not forget to compete with Sasuke. You have no problem with the rear of the crane, I will be fine. Well, this person will be handed over to the two of you to deal with. Hearing Shiyu's words, both Sasuke and Naruto were stunned. They never thought that Shiyu would say such a thing. Shiyu is the strongest among the three of them. Logically, the former should take the lead, so how could it be pushed to the two of them? Chapter 31 Inches Husband and Wife, Joining Forces. Seeing the doubts on the faces of Sasuke and Naruto, Tokyu also said. It is so. Right now we don't know if Zabuza has any other companions, so I will support you first, and at the same time protect Dasuna and Kakashi, sensei. Seeing that Sasuke and Naruto were persuaded by him, Tokyu said again. Of course, if you feel that you are not an opponent, we can exchange it, I don't mind anyway. As expected. Hearing Shiyu's words, Naruto and Sasuke said in unison. No need. The two people in the conversation looked at each other, and then their eyes were locked on Bai's body. Although Bai's physique is not as good as No-Cut, but his blood-stain boundary is exceptionally powerful, and his strength is more unreliable than No-Cut. The reason why Tokyu asked Sasuke to deal with the latter was to deepen the bond between the husband and wife. After all, they were Shiyu's default younger brother. Moreover, this battle has another benefit, which is to help Sasuke open Sharingan. Furthermore, with Bai's heart, he would not kill the two of them. Even if the situation changes later, he will take action in time, so that the two of them will not have their lives in danger. In order not to slash, Bai also made preparations for the battle. Next second, Naruto and Sasuke each took one side and attacked Bai from the left and right. Even though Shiro's physical skills were stronger than the two of them, Naihi began to feel the difficulty in facing the continuous attacks of the two. Because Bai Cheng's place is not physical skills, but his blood limit. Clang, clang, boom. After a brief confrontation, Shiro, who resisted Naruto and Sasuke's sword, was repelled by a kick from both of them at the same time. It can't be delayed any longer. Because it has been a while since he entered the state of suspended animation without slashing, if it is delayed for too long, suspended animation will become real. Thinking of this, Bai can only come up with his true skills. Next second, I saw the chakra on Shiro burst out suddenly, and then Naruto and Sasuke felt a cold air spreading in the air. Immediately afterwards, a light drink was also spit out from Bai's mouth. Mystic demonic mirroring ice crystals. After the white voice fell, a mirror made of ice crystals surrounded Naruto and Sasuke in the middle. Mirror. What kind of magic is this? While Sasuke and Naruto were stunned, Shiro walked towards the ice crystal mirror, and then slowly merged into it under their astonished gazes. Then his figure appeared in all the mirrors, as if he was not alone. Seeing this, Shiyu murmured. Oh, did it finally appear? Undoubtedly, this is the bloodstain boundary that Bai inherited from his mother's family, the ice shield. Boundary of bloodstains. Most of them are inherited through blood, and only a very few evildoers can comprehend it by themselves. Although Shiyu now has chakras of wind and water attributes, but because of lack of talent, he can't understand the mystery, so he can't fuse the two attributes into ice attribute chakra. You two, start to make up your mind from now on. After the voice fell, Bai raised his white palm, and silver needles also appeared. Show you my real speed. Call out. With a sound of breaking air, 3 silver needles came out of the ice mirror. The speed was so fast that even Sasuke, a genius, could not react, and his arm was directly scratched. But it's not over. Immediately afterwards, there was a sound of breaking the air one after another. Call out, call out, call out. This puts Sasuke and Naruto in danger all of a sudden, and just avoiding the silver needle is enough for them to feel uncomfortable. Without any choice, Sasuke directly used his best ninjutsu, trying to melt the ice crystals. Kaden Fire Style Great Fireball Jutsu. However, the end result was unsatisfactory. Sasuke's Kaden Fire Style ninjutsu did not cause any damage to the demonic mirroring ice crystals, just like a rock sinking into the sea. Regarding Sasuke's loss, Shiro didn't forget to hit the ground running. A flame of this level cannot dissolve my ice crystals. Cut. Sasuke, who heard the words, looked extremely unwilling, and even his Kaden Fire Style couldn't hurt him, so they were sure to lose. At this moment, he was wondering whether to help Shiyu. However, his arrogant self-esteem suppressed this idea. Seeing that Sasuke had no idea of rescue, Naruto, who was competing with him, naturally lost the idea. Look at me. Multiple shadow clone technique. The voice fell, and in the entire, demonic mirroring ice crystals, except for Sasuke and Shiro in the mirror, the rest were Naruto. Naruto's thoughts moved, and everyone shadow clone attacked at the same time, trying to use human sea tactics to smash all demonic mirroring ice crystals. However, under the super high speed of Bai, Naruto had no chance to approach the ice crystal at all. Call out, ha! Bang, bang, bang. Without the slightest surprise, every silver needle shot was accompanied by a crisp sound, the sound of the shadow clone being broken and disappearing. Needless to say, Naruto's method also failed. Going back 10,000 steps, even if Naruto's shadow clone can get close to the ice crystal, it won't be able to shatter it. Because even Sasuke's flames can't be melted, and Naruto's current taijutsu obviously can't do it. At this moment, Zuoming and his wife are helpless. Chapter 32 Worthless, Blood Limits. Bai in the ice mirror looked at Zuoming and said slowly. Stop doing the fearless struggle. This is my movement technique using mirror reflections. From my point of view, you are still. Sasuke, who heard the words, fell into contemplation. After a short thought, he found a way to win and hurriedly discussed with Naruto. As Bai said, there are mirrors here. So, of all the mirrors, only one is truly white, the others are projections. As long as they find Shiro's body, then seize the moment and shoot it down in its high-speed movement, they can win. But Bai obviously won't give them extra time to think about the method of cracking this demonic mirroring ice crystals, because he can't delay it if he doesn't cut it. Call out, call out, call out. The silver needle was released again. This time Naruto and Sasuke did not act alone, but joined forces to fight the enemy. Naruto uses Shadow Clone to give Sasuke a chance. And Sasuke didn't disappoint Naruto, he seized the opportunity and used Great Fireball Jutsu. Although he failed to hit Shiro, the corner of Shiro's clothes was burned to ashes. For this result, Sasuke and Naruto are not lost. On the contrary, the heart is more eager to try. Because, under the close cooperation of the two of them, Shiro's trajectory could already be captured. This is undoubtedly good news. As long as they follow this method, the odds of winning will increase. This may be the result of the joint efforts of husband and wife. It is not unreasonable to say that, a husband and wife are of one mind, and their profits will break the gold. Bai was quite surprised by this. He didn't expect that Sasuke could barely keep up with his speed with the naked eye. This kind of thing has never happened before. However, White Zetsu couldn't think that the reason why Sasuke was able to keep up with White's speed was not because the latter became stronger all of a sudden, but because his blood limit was slowly waking up. Sasuke's Sharingan has already been turned on, but he can't use it yet. Aware of Sasuke's abnormality, in order to prevent any accidents from happening, Shiro directly increased his efforts, which made Sasuke and Naruto's original plan to win slowly. Seeing that the situation was becoming more and more unfavorable for the two of them, Sasuke shouted, "Naruto, we can't win at this rate." "What then?" "In this way, I will attract his attention, and you will take the opportunity to escape outside. At that time, we should work together inside and out, and we will definitely be able to break the damp demonic mirroring ice crystals." Naruto also nodded heavily, and then tried his best to get out of the ice mirror cage. However, with his speed, he could never break through Bai's defense. I don't have time to spend it with you, just fall down. As Shiro's voice fell, countless silver needles were shot towards Sasuke and Naruto from all directions. Call out, huh? Trapped in the ice cage, the two of them were unavoidable. Seeing this scene, Naruto, who was already physically weak, subconsciously stood in front of Sasuke and used his body to force most of the next steps. Silver Needle. At this time, Naruto's chakra was almost exhausted, and the acupoint was blocked by Bai, and he was powerless and fell to the ground, unable to fight. Even if he has the super resilience given by Kyuubi, Nine Tails, he still needs to rest for an hour and a half to wake up. Naruto. A heartfelt cry spewed out of Sasuke's mouth, and looking at Naruto on the ground, his clenched fists were creaking. As if to say, dare to hurt my lover like this. Don't worry, it's your turn to be like him. When Sasuke was angry, Shiro's voice sounded again, followed by the countless silver needles. Do not. Unexpected words. In the next second, Sasuke should be blocked like Naruto, thus losing his ability to fight. However, an unexpected scene appeared. This time Sasuke escaped all the silver needles perfectly, and he was still holding Naruto on the premise. This scene made Shiro very surprised, and he didn't know the reason until Sasuke showed his Yuhi-colored eyes. This is Sharingan. Bai Wanwan never thought that Sasuke also had the blood-stain boundary, how rare this thing is, but today he saw 3 owners in a row. Moreover, these 3 have the same kind. God seemed to be joking with him, and the blood-stain boundary that people dreamed of now seemed to be worthless. Although Sasuke successfully turned on Sharingan, single Tomo in the left eye and Tomo in the right eye, he could barely see the speed clearly, but his chakra was almost consumed. If you continue to fight, you will eventually be defeated. Meanwhile, outside, demonic mirroring ice crystals. Seeing what happened inside, Dasna was also worried. Little brother, all your dwarf melon companions have fallen, you should help them quickly. I'll just take care of your teacher. Good. Shiyu also nodded, and then slowly walked towards demonic mirroring ice crystals. Because Sasuke has successfully activated Sharingan, he no longer needs to let the two continue to fight. At this moment, Shiro's astonishment sounded from demonic mirroring ice crystals. It's an incredible blood-stain boundary, it can only be awakened in battle. Although you can see through my attacks now, I am him but not. In order to protect Zaibujian, Shiro could only resort to this shameful trick, and he turned his target to Naruto. If Sasuke wants to protect Naruto, he can't avoid his attack. At that point, the battle will come to an end. At this point, Bai didn't have any thought and acted directly. Call out, huh? Seeing Shiro shoot all the silver needles at Naruto, Sasuke hurriedly exclaimed. Not good. At the same time as the voice fell, his body quickly rushed towards Naruto's position. Undoubtedly, what he was thinking at this time was, I will never allow others to hurt my lover, and even if I want to hurt it, it can only be me. This is the so-called love and kill. Clatter. At the moment when he stood in front of Naruto, Sasuke was ready to connect those silver needles head-on. But the next second, a strange scene appeared. Silver needle that should have fallen on him, but at this moment, it was suspended in front of his eyes strangely, as if it was caught by an invisible big hand, unable to move an inch. Surprising than Sasuke's opening Sharingan. What the hell is going on? Just when the two were puzzled, a figure slowly walked in from the demonic mirroring ice crystals. It was none other than Shiyu. P.S. Because the author wants to present all the contents of Hokage Ninja, as much as possible, he will check the information once he encounters any problems, and he does not want to make any low-level mistakes. Of course, sometimes there will be omissions, and I hope you can give me some advice. But don't draw the knife. In addition, the author is handicapped, so the writing is a bit slow, but I have been working hard, I hope you can understand. I like this anime very much, because it has witnessed my youth. Chapter 33 Inches Jiden, Magnet Style, shows its power. Because of surprise, the atmosphere in the ice crystal cage was unusually quiet. Clatter, clatter. The slight footsteps of Tokiyu could be heard clearly, so that Shiro and Sasuke's eyes fell on the former. Sasuke, you did a great job. You take good care of Naruto, just leave the finishing touches to me. Sasuke, who heard this, was a little unhappy, because he had just started Sharingan, and felt that he had the capital to defeat Bai. How could Shiyu rob him of his own head with just one sentence? But Sasuke wanted to refute, but was interrupted by Tokiyu. There's nothing wrong with it. With your current state, you may not have a chance of winning in the fight. You know this better than anyone else. Furthermore, my purpose is to help you open Sharingan. Now that the goal has been achieved, there is no need for this battle to continue. Seeing Sasuke's stunned look, Shiyu said again, I know you have a lot of questions. After everything is over, I will ask them together. The voice fell, and Shiyu's eyes also fell on Bai. At this time, Bai was extremely shocked. He didn't think that Shiyu's move was only to help Sasuke awaken blood stain limit. Your Excellency, I know that you were merciful in the previous battle, otherwise, the two of them would never have survived until now. So, I'm going to give you a treat. After that, I will bury you and Zaibu together. This is the only thing I can do for you, and it can be regarded as a reward for your mercy just now. Shiyu knew that if he didn't beheaded to death, Bai wouldn't survive alone. Hearing this, Bai was stunned again. Shiyu's words made him feel as if he had seen through him. Thinking of this, Bai has a kind of creepy feeling. Looking at Shiyu in front of him, a hint of fear rose in his heart involuntarily. Hearing that, Sasuke was stunned for a moment, then looked at the silver needles on his body. Almost none of them caused fatal damage to him. This result surprised him. It turned out that this battle was the other party's release of water. As Shiyu said, there is really no need to continue this battle because they have already lost. Originally, Shiro still wanted to quickly deal with Sasuke and Naruto, and then went out to deal with the stronger Tokiyu. But now it seems that there is no need to be so troublesome. Because the latter took the initiative to deliver it to the door. If that's the case, then let's do our best. The voice fell, and Bai in the ice mirror raised his hand again. Without any unnecessary nonsense, the silver needles shot at Shiyu. However, the same scene as before happened again. I saw that all the silver needles stopped in midair again as before, unable to advance any further. The only difference was that they were suspended in front of Shiyu at this time. At this moment, he finally knew who had shot it earlier. What exactly is? What kind of ninjutsu? Hearing this, Moyu flipped his palm lightly, and all the silver needles that were still in the air were suspended in his palm. It's okay to tell you. This technique is called open black lens bracket Jiden, magnet style latte close black lens bracket. Jiden magnet style latte. You can freely control things that contain iron. Principle: convert highly condensed chakra into magnetic force. This is the ability of open black lens bracket Aikiao Shukaku close black lens bracket. Shukaku, although it has Jiden magnet style, it does not create any ninjutsu about Jiden magnet style. At most it integrates it into the seal art, which is also the seal art that leads to Ichio's stronger reason. So, this trick open black lens bracket Jiden magnet style latte close black lens bracket is created by Tokiyu. Controlling metal objects is the basic application of open black lens bracket Jiden magnet style close black lens bracket. This is the same reason that Bai, who has an ice shield, can condense water into ice. There is no way, although the current Shiyu has mastered Jiden magnet style, but the time is still short, and his talent is not very strong. Therefore, it is impossible to create a powerful Jiden magnet style ninjutsu in a short time. The technique of blood-stain boundary is not so good as a master, and even an extremely enchanting genius needs time. Jidden magnet style. Bai murmured, and the next second, the pretty face under the mask suddenly showed a thick color of consternation. Isn't that the blood-stain boundary of the land of wind? Yo, you also know the blood-stain boundary of the land of wind. Shiyu was slightly shocked between the words. I saw it in the Kurigakure Assassination Department manual. It's not surprising that Shiro knew some secrets after following Zabuza for so long, just like he had seen before that Sasuke's blood-stain limit was Sharingan. Hearing what the two of them said, Sasuke couldn't calm down any longer. If what Bai said was true, then you had two kinds of blood-stain limits. Although there are such people, they are absolutely rare in the entire ninja world. It can be said that they are geniuses that are rare in a century. To be precise, it should be the lucky one. And this so-called lucky son, who is standing in front of him, is still his companion. Can this not surprise him? Because even a genius, wanting more than two kinds of master's blood-stain limit, is as difficult as reaching the sky. Some geniuses can't comprehend one in their entire life. Therefore, it is basically a genius to have blood-stain limit, but a genius may not have blood-stain limit. Fortunately, Kakashi and Naruto are still in a coma, otherwise, the two of them must be the same as Sasuke. After some consternation, Bai gave his evaluation of Shiyu. You are stronger than I thought. Just based on your words, I can let you leave with the corpse that will not be cut. What do you think? Shiyu said. No need. Everyone has something they want to protect, and the only one I want to protect is him. If he gives birth to me, he will live, and if he dies, I will die. To live and die together. Shiyu murmured, and said at any time, it's okay, then I will fulfill you. The voice fell, and Shiyu controlled the dozens of silver needles suspended in the palm of his hand, shooting towards the ice realm in all directions. This moment, his battle with Bai finally started. Chapter 34 Sweden, Water Style, Secret Art, 10,000 Ice Petals. Call out, call out, call out. This time, it was Tokiyu's turn to play with needles. Although the needle is a little thin, it is long enough, sharp enough, and obviously hardened. Seeing this, Bai could only give up playing with the needle in his pants. Because he knows that no matter how good his needle skills are, it will be useless in front of Tokiyu who has Jidden magnet style. This is the so-called Tionk. Ding, ding. Each silver needle pierces the ice mirror. It will make a subtle sound, like a metal symphony. But in the end, it seems to have achieved some effect, and Bai, who is hiding in the ice mirror, is still safe and sound. No way, these silver needles aren't enough to shatter the demonic mirroring ice crystals. With his superb movement skills in demonic mirroring ice crystals, Shiro easily dodged Tokiha's silver needle attack. Although he couldn't play with needles in front of Shiyu, he was the ancestor of needles after all. In this regard, Bai also said, playing with needles in front of me, are you a little too self-righteous? Oh, is it? The voice fell, and the demonic mirroring ice crystals on the opposite side suddenly began to tremble. The next second, it flew out under Baizuo's stunned eyes. Boom! It hit a boulder and was smashed to pieces. What's the matter? How can ice crystals fly out for no reason? Moreover, he also slammed into the boulder. Could it be that it became conscious and then didn't want to live? Seeing this scene, Bai can be said to be puzzled. Even Sasuke, who pretends to be smart, is stunned for a long time and knows the reason. It's Jidden magnet style. Hearing Sasuke's words, Shiro finally came to a realization. At this moment, he finally understood. It turned out that Shiyu's previous attack was not mindless, but premeditated. The demonic mirroring ice crystals on that side moved because of the silver needle that had been shot into it earlier. And while Akatsuki explained the principle, the demonic mirroring ice crystals side by side flew to the boulder next to him under Tokiyu's control. Boom! 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 With the sound of one after another, the ice crystal cage is disappearing at a speed visible to the naked eye. But even this scene made Bai and Sasuke look horrified. Silver needles shot by Shiyu was limited. The fewer silver needles in the ice mirror, the more chakra would have to be spent to drive it. However, this is not a problem for Tokyo at all. Shiyu has a huge chakra backing. Even if there is only one silver needle in an ice mirror, he can still withstand the consumption. In just a few moments, all the ice mirrors were destroyed by Moyu, and Bai, who had nowhere to stay, could only escape from it and use the water blinking technique to widen the distance. Water instant body technique, a kind of instant body technique. The demonic mirroring ice crystals, ice shield secret technique has been broken. After this short confrontation, Bai understood a truth, that is, a ninja with great strength is often not the most terrible, but a ninja who is both powerful and smart. Open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Uchiha Madara close black lens bracket are living examples. As the ancestor of Chakra open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagayahime close black lens bracket, she is undoubtedly the strongest existence in the entire ninja world. Yes, but why was the latter sealed? And, twice. The essential reason is because she is too stupid. Of course, the second time she was sealed may be because she has been locked up for a long time, and her brain is a little funny. What about the first time? Maybe it's loneliness. Instead of watching the children and grandchildren make people, it's better to let his son seal it. This is a relief. These sentences are purely joking. Breaking the demonic mirroring ice crystals, Tokyo had no unnecessary nonsense, and once again controlled all the silver needles to shoot at Shiro. Obviously, Shiyu used his own way to treat his own body. Not good. Silver needles shot from all directions. Shiro knew that his own was inevitable. In this regard, he can only resort to defensive skills. Ice Shield Bingyantangwu. Ice Shield Bingyantangwu. Create a wall of ice around the body to block attacks from enemies. After blocking Shiyu's silver needle attack, Shiro also attacked with a backhand. He knew that if he wanted to defeat Shiyu, he had to be surprised. Otherwise, he will not have the slightest chance of winning. Mysticism 10,000 Ice Petals. As Bai's low voice fell, a large number of thousands of water books suddenly appeared, just like cherry blossoms. Sweden Water Style Secret Art 10,000 Ice Petals turns water into a large number of thousands, and shoots at a wide range and high speed in a nearly 360-degree range. Seeing this scene, Shiyu was not too surprised. But Sasuke in the back was extremely shocked. He was shocked not by how strong Bai's Sweden Water Style was, but because Shiro actually used the one-handed hand seal to activate this technique. Sasuke thinks he is genius enough, but today he was hit hard. Shiyu, the pervert, is nothing, even such an unknown missing nin is better than him now. But what surprised Sasuke the most was far more than this, but the thousands of books that surrounded Shiyu at this time. Needless to say, that's also 10,000 ice petals. Ice Shield cannot be duplicated, but this Sweden Water Style can. Moyu was able to perform this Sweden Water Style secret technique, naturally because he opened the 3-Tomo Sharingan. One-handed hand seal is due to talent. Even if you have Sharingan, it is difficult to replicate. If Shiyu's talent is not increased by 100 times, it is absolutely impossible. It is also because of this that the speed of Shiyu's use of 10,000 ice petals lags behind that of Shiro. Otherwise, at least they are all synchronous. If Shiro is affected by demonic illusion, then Tokyo will be a step faster, just like Kakashi uses the demonic illusion that comes with Sharingan while copying his mind that will not cut it. But the problem is that this is Tokyo's first one-handed hand seal, so he can't multitask. Otherwise, it is very likely to fail. But even if it was a step slower, it would make Sasuke both envious and jealous. Because he also has Sharingan, but he cannot replicate this technique in such a short period of time. Not to mention cast it. It can only be said that his Sharingan has not yet reached home. But it is also understandable, after all, he has just started. P.S. The author knows that there are Namikaze Minato, Uchiha Itachi and Sasuke in the later stage who can also hand seal with one hand. Other old irons can add if they are interested. Chapter 35 Unlock, Second Reward. Seeing this scene, Bai was also suddenly shocked. He did not expect that Shiyu had mastered Sharingan to such an extent that even his one-handed hand seal could be copied. In this alone, it is better than Kakashi. Bai quickly came back to his senses. He knew that when he was stunned, he would be surprised for another second, and he would be more dangerous if he didn't cut it. Next second, the two groups of water thousand books collided in the air. The intertwined sound was incessant, and countless splashes of water splashed. The flowers and plants on the side were actually cut into pieces. What's more, even the hard rock was left with scratches visible to the naked eye. As the thousand books of water dissipated, the final result was evenly matched. The first time Shiyu used it, he could be on par with Baido, thus, Shiyu's skills were superior. But this is only the result of the 10,000 ice petals competition. The real ending is that Bai's body is full of silver needles at this time. Silver needles of his own. Just now, after Tashiyu's Do Yunjutsu, the ice wall he had created before he could use his defensive technique, Binyantengu, was taken away by Shiyu's Jiden, magnet-style, latte. After regaining his senses, Bai Feng looked at the silver needle on his body and thought it was a bit ridiculous. He didn't expect that he would die under his own weapon. Immediately after, he raised his head to look at Shiyu, took his last breath, and said, "It's not wrong to lose at your hands, can you tell me your name?" Obviously, he knew he was dying soon. Shiyu didn't hide it either. Takagawa Tokiha. Shiyu, I hope you can keep your previous promise. Don't worry. After getting Shiyu's reply, the pretty face under Bai's mask also showed a smile, a relieved smile. Because he no longer has to live a life of licking blood on the tip of a knife, and he can always be with the person he wants to protect. Immediately after, Bai turned his head over and looked at Zaibuzan, whose life and death were unknown, and his delicate body slowly fell down. Boom. Just as Bai fell, Shiyu also received a prompt from the system. Ding! The task of killing Peach Land will not be cut again as complete. A second after the system's prompt fell, the system's voice continued to ring. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully unlocking the second reward of the God-level reward system. Talent increased by 1,000 times. 1,000 times higher chakra. Get the power of another journey. That is, the chakra and ability of the second tail. Get 2 lucky draw chances. After the prompt from the system was finished, Shiyu felt a lot of clarity in his mind instantly, and some unknown knowledge and mysteries were also instantly understood. Especially the understanding of fire attribute chakra. This shows. However, it is because of the power of the journey, because 2 Taiyo Brigade is good at Kaden fire style and the fire attribute chakra is extremely powerful. Its flame is blue, and it is much stronger than the level of ordinary flames. In this world, I am afraid that only the strongest fire, Amaterasu, can overwhelm it. At the same time, Shiyu had spent a lot of chakra previously, and it was also supplemented, which made him more energetic, and it didn't look like he had just experienced a big battle. Not only that, Shiyu felt that with his current talent, he might be able to comprehend a new kind of bloodstain boundary. But as for whether it can be, only try it to know. However, it is obviously not possible now, because there is still a mess waiting for him to clean up. With the unlocking of the second reward, Shiyu also knew that he would be dead if he didn't cut it again. Looking at the 2 corpses on the ground, Shiyu knew that it would be more than once or twice to escape by this method. It's just that he never dreamed that the feigned death, this time would actually make Shiyu's falsehood come true, making it impossible for him to wake up forever. Sasuke's gaze shifted from Bai Zaibuzan to Shiyu, and his face at the moment couldn't help showing a look of admiration. This time, he admired Shiyu from the bottom of his heart. Not only him, but even Dishonor was dumbfounded. He never expected a 12-year-old boy to be so capable. And this time, Naruto has woken up from a coma with the recovery of Kyuubi, Nine-Tails power, and the first words he woke up were, "Sasuke, where's the masked man?" "Dead." Hearing Sasuke's answer, Naruto glanced at the white face lying on the ground with both joy and jealousy. Glad they beat the masked man, jealous he thought Sasuke cracked the demonic mirroring ice crystals, and killed the latter. Despite this, Naruto asked unwillingly, wanting to make the final confirmation. "Sasuke, is this what you did?" Although Sasuke, who heard the words, did not answer, he had already said the answer where he looked. "Naruto, what's the problem? I'll wait until Uncle Dasuna's house. Kakashi-sensei is still in a coma. Also, come over now to help bury these two." Hearing Shiyu's words, Naruto could only temporarily put aside all the doubts in his heart. Immediately after, with the help of Dishonor, Shiyu and others found a beautiful place for Bai and Zabuza to bury the two together. As for the decapitation sword, it was directly included in the inventory of the system by Shiyu. Although this knife is not very drippy, the ghost lamp Shueyu has a soft spot for it, and it would be good to use it to tempt him in the future. After doing this, and the others led the unconscious Kakashi towards the location of Dasuna's house. Chapter 36 The Art of Hiraishin. After a moment, Shiyu and others also arrived at Dasuna's house smoothly. There were two other people in his house, one big and one small. The eldest is his daughter, Suna Mi, who is 20 and 9 years old, a middle-aged and beautiful woman. The youngest is his grandson, Inari, who is only 8 years old and entered a period of rebellion early due to the death of his stepfather Gai-sand. After arriving at Dasuna's house, Kakashi was still awake. Shiyu studied the unlocking conditions of the third reward. 1. Liberate the Land of Waves. 2. Defeat the Otogakure Trio. 3. Rescue Gaara the Tailed Beast. For the 3 unlocking conditions, for Shiyu now, the last one is a little tricky, and the first 2 are not difficult. The so-called liberation of the country of waves is nothing more than bringing down the unscrupulous businessman, Gato. This is the easiest. As for the Otogakure Trio, it was just a pawn sent by Orochimaru to test whether Sasuke was qualified to be his container. After a simple thought, Shiyu murmured, "Looks like I'll have to find a chance to learn psychic art from Jiraiya. As long as you sign a contract with the Holy Land of Mount Myoboku, not only can you channel a powerful contract beast like Toad Wenta, but also help him better complete the third unlocking condition. Moreover, you can go to open black lens bracket Mount Myoboku close black lens bracket to practice sage art in the future. This is not the best of both worlds. Along with open black lens bracket Mount Myoboku close black lens bracket, there are 2 other holy places named open black lens bracket Ryochi Cave close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Shikatsu Forest close black lens bracket. Shiyu is also very interested in these 2 holy places, but the problem is that a person can only sign with one kind of psychic beast. Of course, with the exception of Beast Path in Pain 6 Paths. It can only be said that it is a special case. But this is a possibility. Maybe the master can sign more psychic beasts with the power of Animal Dao. Never mind, let's talk about it later. After chanting, Shiyu's eyes also fell on the 2 lottery chances, and his eyes were full of anticipation. Tomo Sharingan and other good things in the last lottery draw. With this in mind, Shiyu didn't procrastinate either, and directly opened the lottery interface. Immediately after, with a nervous heart, he stretched out his big hand and clicked the Start button in the lottery box. As the objects in the frame began to turn, Shiyu's heart beat faster, and his eyes were fixed on him. In a few seconds, the first draw is over. Ding! congratulations to the host for obtaining the Duman physique of the 8 inner gates. Hearing the system's prompt, Shiyu's first reaction was stunned for a while, and then he felt a little excited in his heart. Duman's physique, could it be? After muttering to himself, Shiyu directly clicked to confirm, with an impatient look on his face. Quickly glanced at the introduction of the 8 inner gates, Duman physique in the inventory, and everything was exactly as he thought. The Duman physique of the 8 inner gates. After using it, the host can directly obtain the physique that opens Duman. Originally, Shiyu was still correcting how to exercise your physique, because if you want to open the last 5 gates of the 8 inner gates, talent alone is not enough, you must have strong physical fitness as a prerequisite. But he didn't want to work as hard as Little Li and Gai Huang, because it was too hard and tiring, and only their 2 living treasures could persevere and have fun. But Shiyu is different. How could he exercise with the system? The system doesn't care. Now that it's all right, the system has saved his face and gave him such a good thing directly. After some excitement, Shiyu started the second round of the lottery, and with the first round of gains, Shiyu became more and more looking forward to it. After the frame stopped, the system sound also sounded. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Harishin technique. At this moment, Shiyu was so excited that he almost jumped up, because the result of the second lottery draw was less successful than the first. The technique of Harishin, S-level time-space ninjutsu, you can use the technique to achieve teleportation. This spell does not require a hand seal to activate, and the caster is able to divert large targets when the chakra is high. Example: 4 generations Namikaze Minato, transfer-tailed beast bomb. If one were to discuss the 8 inner gates, Duman physique, and Harishin, S technique, the latter was naturally more powerful. But in today's Shiyu's eyes, the difference is almost the same, because now Shiyu has 1,000 times the talent. As long as he obtains the cultivation method of the Harishin technique, he will definitely be able to become his master in time. But the 8 inner gates, Duman physique, is different. If there is no such thing, even if Tokiyu's talent is enough, if you want to open Duman, you must train your physical body to enough conditions to open. It's a bit of a sin. After some thoughts, Shiyu didn't talk nonsense, he just used all the 2 things. Ding! Congratulations to the host's physical body reaching the Duman physique of the 8 inner gates. Ding! Congratulations to the host master time-space ninjutsu, Harishin, S art. After the prompt from the system fell, Shiyu felt that his body was full of power, which was the original power from his muscles. So strong. At this moment, Shiyu also clearly knew why Little Li could defeat Gaara when Duman was turned on. Once the energy contained in this fleshly body erupts, it is indeed not to be underestimated. At the same time, in Tokiyu's mind, the art of Harishin's art clearly appeared, and this art was the key to master S art. Only by comprehending it can we understand the mystery of space. But how many people in the world can comprehend this mystery, which also led to the near loss of the Harishin art? In today's Konoha, only Shiranui Genma, similarity, and Shiranui can be used together. It can be seen that this technique is very difficult. The strength of the 4 generations is not without reason. Yu calmed down his high emotions. Kakashi finally woke up from the coma. To this, Shiyu knew that the inevitable was coming. Chapter 37 Izanagi. The moonlight is like water, pouring down like a transparent waterfall. In the room, Kakashi woke up still unable to move. According to his self-reported, he will recover after a week of training. This price is really not small. This is the consequence of the excessive use of Sharingan by non-Uchiha people, and Kakashi must have cells of the first generation Senjuhashirama if this side effect is to be overcome. By the way, is it necessary to use primary cells to use open black lens bracket Izanagi close black lens bracket? The answer is, it is possible. The so-called Izanagi belongs to an ultimate pupil technique, one of the more pervert in demonic illusion. There are two ways to open this technique. One, having open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket, because its own pupil power is sufficient, it can be used without the first generation of cells. 2. Open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket under normal state, the pupil power is insufficient, it is necessary to use the first generation of cells to strengthen the pupil power to perform. Otherwise, it cannot be cast. First, Madara and Hashirama use the transcribing seal to set up Izanagi to resurrect themselves after the first battle. At that time, Madara did not have Hashirama cells. Second, Itachi casts Izanami when he stops Kabuto to tell the story of the ancestors of the Uchiha family who used Izanagi indiscriminately. Those ancestors all have Mangekyo, but they must not have Hashirama cells. Not yet born. Third, Obito and Danzo cast Izanagi knowable self-report. They both use the normal state Sharingan. What Obito uses is also a transplant, not his own. Kakashi-sensei, you finally woke up. Seeing Kakashi wake up, Naruto was the first to speak. Because he had a lot of questions he wanted to ask Shiyu, but Shiyu meant to ask Kakashi when he woke up. If not, he has to explain it again, which is too troublesome. Because of this, Naruto was already impatient. Not only Naruto, Kakashi and Sasuke are no exception. Immediately after, a load of questions were thrown on Tokiyu's forehead, and Kakashi was the first to speak. Shiyu, the 8 inner gates, how many gates have you practiced? 3 doors. Shiyu concealed it a little bit. If he directly said that he had opened the 5th door, Kakashi would have to vomit blood. It has only been a few days since Shiyu watched the Book of Seals, and he has reached the 5th sect, which is almost impossible. Because this body art must be matched with excellent physical strength. If it wasn't for Shiyu's first 2 doors, Kakashi wouldn't believe the 3 doors, Shiyu said. The end, Kakashi can only think that Tokiyu is a physique monster. There are 3 types of techniques: ninjutsu, demonic illusion and taijutsu. Same is true of geniuses. Since there are ninjutsu geniuses and demonic illusion geniuses, naturally there are also taijutsu geniuses. Guy and Lee are like that, they have a talent for it. Of course, talent alone is not enough for Taishu, and it takes more time than others to practice hard in order to be fruitful. This is also the fundamental reason why ordinary people do not major in physique. And Kakashi gave Tokiyu a warning to stop the 5 sects behind him from practicing. Teacher, don't worry, I'll just practice. Hearing Shiyu's words, Kakashi wants to beat people. You call it casual practice, and you can open the 3 doors with a single swish. As for Sasuke and Naruto, it's okay, because they don't know how difficult it is to practice the 8 inner gates. Then, it was Naruto's turn. Shiyu, how did you learn that Jiden magnet style? I don't know either, but it does. Hearing Shiyu's answer, Kaka said, there are 2 types of bloodstain boundary, one is born through bloodline inheritance, and the other is acquired through cultivation and comprehension. According to Shiyu, his Jiden magnet style should be born. Shiyu has 2 kinds of blood stain limits. Jiden magnet style should be his ancestors who had Jiden magnet style ninjas. As for the Sharingan, my guess and Shiyu have a look, it should be that his ancestors married someone from the Uchiha family. It is common for such descendants to awaken the blood of their ancestors. Kakashi and Naruto both asked one, and in the end, it was Sasuke, the little Prince Tsunere, of course. Shiyu, how do you know the awakening method of Sharingan? It's easy. Because that night, I started it because I saw Mr. Iruka injured and threatened with life and death. So I let you try it, but I didn't expect it to work. Although Shiyu was talking nonsense in a serious manner, there was nothing wrong with the way he said it. Kakashi also nodded to Tokiyu's answer. Because he had a similar experience, that Obito opened his eyes at the time when the 2 of them were in danger. In short, The current Tokiha has become a pervert-level monster in the eyes of the three Kakashi. Next second, Naruto looked at Kakashi's blocked left eye with a puzzled look, and he couldn't help but ask directly out of curiosity. Kakashi-sensei, why do you only have one Sharingan? Originally, Tokiyu's previous answer has already avoided the question of why Kakashi has Sharingan, but the problem is that he only has one. Moreover, it seems that it can't be turned off. This is the most annoying. The question of Naruto is undoubtedly the voice of Sasuke, and the two deserve to have a couple who have a heart-to-heart. Kakashi, who heard the words, was also taken aback. Silent for a while, he said, "As this. I'll tell you when you become Chunin." Kakashi's words are not cruel. If it hadn't been for Tokiha, Naruto and Sasuke would only know the answer when Obito appeared. Because, in the end, the two of them are still genin. Chapter 38 Inches Chakra, Practice. At the end of their conversation, Dasna heard that Kakashi woke up and came to greet him. "Kakashi-sensei, are you okay?" "It's okay, just rest for a few days." "That's good." Dishonor, who was talking, had a happy expression on his face, and then said, "Then you can rest assured at my house during this period of time to cultivate. Anyway, there is still some time before the bridge is completed." "Then it bothers me." "There's nothing to disturb. You came here to protect me, and I should provide you with food and accommodation." Dishonor said sincerely. "Uncle Dasna, what fun do you have here?" Naruto asked curiously. The first time he walked out of Konoha, Naruto naturally wanted to see what the outside world looked like and what was the difference. "Of course there is. If you're interested, let my daughter show you around tomorrow." Hearing this, Naruto had no time to be happy when Kakashi poured cold water on him. "Naruto, now is not the time to relax." "Ah." Naruto was stunned for a while, and said puzzled, "Kakashi-sensei, haven't we killed all the enemies? What else is there to worry about? We just don't kill two more people. Gato is the richest man in the world. Maybe he also hires stronger ninjas. So, at this time, you can't take it lightly. Therefore, we have to prepare in advance." Naruto asked curiously, "Teacher, what do you mean by preparation?" "You can't move now, what else can you do?" Sasuke's tone sounded cold, but there was a hint of concern in his words. Only Toba didn't speak, because he knew what Kakashi wanted to do. "Hey." Kakashi smiled and said, "Naturally, it is for you to cultivate well." Cultivation. Seeing Naruto and Sasuke were both startled, Kakashi continued, "While my body is recovering, I can just give you some guidance. It won't let you be at a loss when a strong enemy comes." After Kakashi's voice fell, a little boy walked in, followed by a taunt. "There's no such thing as going against Gato." When the words fell, he looked at Tsunami, his mother, and continued, "Mom, they will die soon, right?" There is no doubt that this little boy is Dasna's grandson, Inari. As soon as Inari said this, before Tsunami could reply, Naruto was the first to say, "Little brat. I'll be a super ninja all day long and become a hero like Hokage." So, what card is not card more? In my eyes, it's a piece of cake. For Naruto's rhetoric, Inari was not moved at all, the corners of his mouth moved, and the contemptuous words were spit out again. There is no difference between a hero and a fool. Because that thing doesn't even exist. When the voice fell, Inari ignored everyone, turned and walked towards his room. Naruto, who was not convinced, also followed, and this was the only way he discovered the pain in the latter's heart, because at this time Inari was hiding in the room and crying secretly, just like when he was a child. He can feel this feeling. But, since stepping into the ninja school and meeting Shiyu, he has been the object of his conversation. That's why the two became best friends. Day 2. Kakashi, leaning on two crutches, brought Tokyo and the three to a dense forest, ready to guide the three of them to practice. Since taking over the 7th class, this is the first time that Kakashi has truly guided the three of them to practice. Kakashi-sensei, what are we going to cultivate? Naruto is very curious, and he is full of expectations for the cultivation that can become stronger. Because he wants to surpass Sasuke. Hearing this, Kakashi smiled slightly, and then said, first of all, I want to tell you about the most basic thing about ninjas, chakra. Quote. The general content is how chakra is generated, and then, how is it displayed through hand seal. Naruto was completely at a loss. And it is also the reason why Naruto can't master advanced ninjutsu. In the end, he only knows rubbing balls, because this technique does not require hand seal. In short, what I mean is that you can't use your chakra as you like, which is why your ninjutsu is strong and weak. Naruto doesn't understand the complicated and professional science popularization above, but the last sentence sums up Naruto and understands it. He scratched his head and asked, Kakashi-sensei, what should we do then? Kakashi was silent for a while, then uttered two words. Climb a tree. Can this be considered cultivation? Naruto questioned. My so-called tree climbing is different from what you think, it's a hand that can't be used. Kakashi narrowed his eyes and said. Hearing this, Shiyu, who had been silent for a long time, finally said, if I guessed correctly, the teacher wants us to crawl on our feet. As soon as these words came out, all three of Kakashi were taken aback. Especially Kakashi, he never thought that Shiyu would be able to guess this kind of cultivation method. Seeing Kakashi's acquiescence, Naruto also asked, Shiyu, how did you know? The reason is simple. Teacher Kakashi wants us to practice. If we climb trees, we can't use our hands, so we can only use our feet. Shiyu replied and continued, of course, this is just normal thinking logic. Let me be really sure about the second point. If you think about it, we usually use our hand seals with our hands, so our hands are already very sensitive to the grasp of chakra. Basically, we can do it with our hands, but our feet are different. If we don't pass special training, it will be difficult. Controlled. It's like yesterday's battle. Kakashi, Sensei and Zabuza can stand completely on the water, but Naruto you can't. After hearing what Tokyo said, Naruto nodded symbolically. And Kakashi was once again impressed by Tokyo, although it was only a small matter, but it was enough to see Tokyo's ingenuity. Even Sasuke had to cast an adoring look at Tokyo, as if in front of Tokyo, his Tenten would be hit. Since Shiyu has guessed it, I'll show you how. Kakashi finished speaking, he was about to demonstrate. Tokyo's voice sounded again, causing the three of them to be stunned for a moment. Kakashi-sensei. You haven't recovered yet, so let me come. Chapter 39 The Third, Blood Limit. Kakashi, who heard the words, all looked at Tokyo with a strange look, especially Kakashi. If you guessed it, forget it. I haven't taught you anything about it yet. Isn't this something robbing me of my job? Shiyu, could it be that you have already learned? Seeing Shiyu nodding, Kakashi could only take a deep breath to express his shock. Immediately after, under the stunned gazes of the three, Shiyu walked directly towards a big tree. Clatter. 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 With the sound of footsteps one after another, Shiyu walked steadily to the half-waist of the big tree under the gaze of the three. Yes, it is used to go. After that, the whole person hung directly on the tree trunk, without any fulcrum, and just stood upside down out of thin air. Seeing this scene, Naruto couldn't help but exclaimed, wow, I climbed up with my feet. As expected of Shiyu, it's amazing. Sasuke was no exception, with a look of surprise in his eyes. Shiyu also said, it's roughly like this. The principle is to condense the chakra on the soles of the feet and let the body adhere to the tree. As long as the chakra is used properly, it can be done. Shiyu looked at Kaka and asked, Kakashi-sensei, what's wrong with what I said? No. From Kakashi's tone, he could clearly hear the shock in his heart at this time, and immediately raised the doubts in his heart. Shiyu, when did you learn it? Last night. Shiyu replied, then said, I was bored after dinner last night and tried it. I didn't expect it to work. This is not finished, because last night Kakashi said that he would take them to practice tomorrow, and Tokyo already knew the content of the practice. So, he wanted to try it. Due to the blessing of 1,000 times the talent, Shiyu made him the perfect master at one time. It's not too easy for him. But this simple sentence made Kakashi instantly stunned. What? Shiyu's performance at the ninja school was mediocre, but naturally after the graduation exam, he began to rise against the sky. The way, Kakashi can be said to have a deep feeling. Now that Shiyu has shown him such a hand again, he can't be surprised, because he himself hadn't been so pervert back then. You must know that Kakashi is one of the best talents in Konoha, and few people can fight with him. But now he thinks that Shiyu is better than himself. Kakashi who suddenly awakened like Tokyo, but I've never seen a genius like this. After a long pause, Kakashi finally said, Shiyu, you can come down. After seeing Shiyu returning to the team, Naruto also asked, Kakashi-sensei, can you really become stronger this way? How do you think your strength compares to Tokyo? Kakashi asked rhetorically. Of course it's Shiyu-kyang. That's not right. Kakashi replied with a sound, and then said, Shiyu's master method with such ease shows that his control over chakra has reached the level of perfection. This level has surpassed most shunins. Both Naruto and Sasuke who heard the words took a deep breath. They didn't expect Shiyu to be so strong. Can compete with chunin. As long as you can master the control of chakra, both ninjutsu and taijutsu will be significantly improved. I can assure you of this. Hearing Kakashi's words, Naruto was already eager to try. Kakashi-sensei, can you tell us how to train? The method is simple. Kakashi replied, then said, just use the shuriken in your hands to mark the height you can climb. It might be a bit difficult at first, but you can use a sprint. When you are able to walk on the tree, it means that you have already mastered the subtle control of master. Immediately after, Naruto and Sasuke started to practice intensively, and Tokyo went to the bridge to protect Dasna. 5 days passed in the blink of an eye. Naruto and Sasuke have been practicing day and night, and have made considerable progress, and Kakashi has also recovered to a full body state. As for Shiyu, in these 5 days, he has also achieved a lot. The first is that he developed the first secret technique of open black lens bracket jitten, magnet style close black lens bracket. Second, he relied on the blessing of 1,000 times the talent to finally accomplish what many people could not do in their entire life. That is, he realized a kind of blood stain limit. This new blood stain boundary is a fusion of wind attribute and water attribute, nature transformation, which is what Bai has, ice shield. Shiyu was able to understand that this bloodstain boundary was not entirely dependent on talent, and there was one more important factor. That is the battle with White. During that battle, Shiyu could clearly feel the change in chakra when the latter cast ice shield. So after constantly trying, I finally figured it out. This is undoubtedly good news for Shiyu, and he has seen Shiro perform 2 kinds of ice shield ninjutsu. In this way, he doesn't have to bother to develop new secret techniques by himself. According to Shiyu's calculations, his current talent is not enough to comprehend other blood stain limits in a short period of time. If you want to comprehend quickly, it is estimated that there must be a prerequisite. That is to have direct contact with bloodstain boundary, and clearly know the chakra nature transformation of bloodstain boundary, and only with his own talent can he comprehend it. Otherwise, I don't know how much time it will take to comprehend one. It took a lot of time to comprehend the bloodstain boundary. Shiyu obviously knows what to do. He is a systematic person. If he does this, the system still has face. 2 days later. The recovered Kakashi is ready to go to the bridge with Dasna, because it's been a few days before he doesn't lose his hand. If you don't fail again, Cardo will definitely not give up. But when they assembled, Kakashi found that Naruto was not there, so he asked, Tokyo, where is Naruto? He's still sleeping. Shiyu responded with a sound, and then said, I guess it's because I've been practicing so hard these days, and I'm exhausted. Forget it, let him have a good rest. As Kakashi's voice fell, everyone slowly walked towards the bridge under the leadership of Dasna. When Moyu left, he gave Tsunami a note and told her to give it to Naruto when he woke up. Although Tsunami was a little puzzled about this, she didn't say much. Facing Shiyu with a sweet smile, the smile revealed a unique charm of a middle-aged beautiful woman, making people want to protect her. Immediately after, Shiyu and the others walked away under her watch. A moment. It disappeared from her sight. Chapter 40 Cardo Intruder. At noon, the sun rises high. When Yu and his party came to the bridge, the workers here fell to the ground with serious injuries. At this time, in addition to the injured workers, there were also a group of people standing here, and they were staring at Shiyu and the others with hostile expressions. The leader was a squat, middle-aged man in a suit and tie, which seemed out of tune with the group of outlaws behind him. There is no doubt that he should be the top rich man, Cardo. His eyes shifted from the injured workers on the ground to Cardo, and Dasna said angrily, Kato, what do you want? Do you still need to ask this question? Cardo sneered, and then said, I said that this bridge is not allowed to be built, but you don't listen, and you are against me again and again. So, I came here today to make a complete conclusion. Dasna, as long as you kill the leader, I see who else in the country of waves dares to resist me. Hearing Cardo's words, Dishonor was furious in his heart. Because his godson, Inari's stepfather, let Cardo beat him to death. Oh, by the way, let me remind you casually before you die. I have already sent someone to your house. If nothing else happens, they have already captured your beautiful daughter at this time. Hey, I just like this young woman with a charming charm. Hearing this, Dasna was taken aback for a moment. Immediately, a ferocious look suddenly appeared on his face, and a pair of big hands covered with calluses clenched tightly, staring at Cardo. Seeing this, Shiyu said, Uncle Dasna, don't worry. I've left a note. Naruto will stay there to protect the mother and son when he wakes up. One or two little ones are not his opponents. Dishonor, who heard the words, breathed a sigh of relief. If there was no Shiyu's words, he would have rushed to fight Cardo to the death. Kakashi and Sasuke on the side were shocked when they heard the words, as if Tokyo could not predict. Shiyu, did you know in advance that Cardo would do this? Regarding Kakashi's doubts, Tokyo also explained, Kakashi-sensei, I'm just doing this as a precaution. Insidious villains like Cardo may threaten us with Uncle Dasner's family, and even if they lose in the end, they will be able to retreat. Shiyu, it's still as thoughtful as you think, the teacher is not as good as you. Kakashi has to admit that Tokyo is excellent, and he can think about things so thoughtfully on the first mission. As for Sasuke, he naturally admires Moyu more and more. And the jealousy is slowly diminishing with the consternation again and again. I believe that it will disappear without much use. Scattered in nothing. Dasna, you can't escape today, just die. Words, Kakashi stood up directly. Konoha on his shoulders, and once Dasna dies, it will definitely affect Konoha's voice. As Konoha Jonin, he couldn't let this happen. Don't worry, Mr. Dishonor. With me here, no one will touch you today. Hearing Kakashi's words, Kato's eyes finally fell on him. If I'm not mistaken, it's just that you kill and don't behead. The reason why Cardo is here is because he has always been waiting for the news that he will not kill again, but there is no news of the latter after waiting for several days. So he sent someone to investigate. I don't know if I don't check it, but after a check I know that Zabuza has been killed by Kakashi's group. What puzzled him the most was why Kakashi and the others wanted to be safe from killing the two of them. Moreover, I also chose a feng shui treasure land. Not bad. Kakashi didn't hide it. He has always been open and honest in his conduct and deeds, and he has no hidden secrets. Of course, except for Intimacy Paradise. After hearing this, Gato snorted coldly. That waste, it's better to die. Even if he completes my entrustment, I have no intention of paying him any remuneration. In my eyes, he is nothing but a clown. You did me a big favor by killing him. Obviously, because of the attitude of not slashing again, Gato was very unhappy, causing Gato to want to kill him for a long time. Moreover, he has always regarded wealth as his life. How could it be possible to pay such a high remuneration for Zafu? In fact, no matter if Zafu was successful or not, the result was already doomed. In the end, Gato will definitely kill him. But tricks like Gato can deal with some weak ninjas, and dealing with masters like Zabuza is undoubtedly self-defeating. He should be thankful that Shiyu and the others removed him early. Otherwise, without waiting for Shiyu and others to start, he has now been sent to the underworld to report. Okay, I don't have time to chat with you. Since you are here, it can only be blamed for your bad life. After the voice fell, Gato waved his hand, and an order sounded. Kill me, not one. After receiving Gato's order, a group of outlaws behind him pulled out their weapons. Knives, guns, sticks, all kinds of tricks. Just not electric.